Hello and welcome to another episode of the Wanky Thoughts Podcast. I'm on a roll with this, aren't I? I want to talk about something today. I wrote a post on it this morning, so you may have seen this, you may have read about this. But I was celebrating the fact that the first two episodes of the Wanky Thoughts Podcast had about 56 downloads. I think we're up to 67 today. And I was celebrating this fact that, first two episodes in the first 2 weeks, brilliant. And my post was about, I was being a bit sarcastic because I was saying, if you haven't had 12 billion downloads in the first 3 seconds of your podcast going out, then who even are you? Like, are you even successful? And I know I use a bit of humour and a bit of sarcasm, but I'm hoping to labour a good point, is that we've somehow lost this, or our idea of what is successful has somehow got skewed, in my humble opinion. And, I think we're forgiven for having that view skewed, because all you see nowadays is, if you're not making, it's not even about 6 figures anymore. It's about multiple 6 figures. And even if that wasn't enough, now it's about making 7 figures. And I am all for making money. Like, this is not a bash at people who make loads of money. Bloody brilliant. I am all for it. If I could have, I was going to say if I could have a 7-figure business, I don't think I want it. And I don't say that in a way of like jealousy. But there is a level of responsibility that I do not want that comes with a 7-figure business. You are not sitting at your kitchen table bunking off at 2 o'clock because you feel like you've done enough work. You have an added level of stress that right now I do not have. Like, I don't have staff, and I do not thank you for staff. When in my recruitment days, I had a very small team. Oh my God, it's like that you've become a therapist. I'm like, I do not want to get into that. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. But I do think we have, and I see this. Sorry, I'm my mouth's thinking before my brain. I see this in my group. So I have a small membership group. There is literally a handful of us at the moment. I'm looking to grow it, but right now I like it. I love it because there's like 10 of us. And each week we look and go, right, what's the thing you need to do in your business right now? And it might be as simple as, I just need to do that video. We had somebody yesterday, Lara, who was bloody brilliant, had been putting off videos since she started a business, like well over a year. And yesterday I was like, come on, right, let's do the video. And she went and did the video. And we all celebrated. We're all like, this is amazing. And you've taken that first step. And I see it with people in my group of, I go, right, who's got anything to celebrate this week? And they go, oh, no, nothing. And I go, come on, so how about you? And they go, well, I got a client. I go, what do you mean you've got nothing to celebrate? Like, why am I dragging this out of you? Or people go, I finally got my lead magnet out and 10 people have downloaded it. And I go, but this is to celebrate. And they go, yeah, but it's just 10 in it. I'm like, all of these things that we feel are the small, insignificant moments are what your future success is built on. And you might not want a podcast where, you're striving to be the top and you knock whoever the top spot is off in the entrepreneur charts or marketing charts or whatever they call them. You might just be happy with going like I am. I sit in my car, hence I'm actually outside the vets today. I'm early. True Helen style, I've turned up 48 hours early. You might just want to have, this is no stress. This is I'm going to record it if I feel like it. There's no pressure. I don't have to have it all jangling and jingling and fancy pants. I couldn't care less. Do I care about being at number one? Not really. It's our ego that wants all of that. It's all tied into our survival system. And I forgot where I was going with this. I do this every episode, don't I? I have brain farts and go menopausal moments. But yeah, I think it's really important to start silencing the noise, shall we say, and good for them. Sat on their yachts, and and I don't want this to come across as I'm jealous because I ain't got a yacht, and because I did make a joke in my post. If you're not stood on the shoreline, stood on the boat looking at the shoreline of all the peasants, then you're a complete loser. And it was very tongue-in-cheek, because if somebody said, do you want to come on my yacht this weekend, of course I'd say yes. But it's not something I am aspiring to own, So I don't want this to come across as, oh, she's just jealous because she's not making enough money to buy a yacht. It's not that at all. Like, I like nice holidays, and I like, my cleaner to come, and I'd like her to come twice a week instead of once a week. So yes, there is aspirational things that I would like money to get more money to buy. But I do think it's really important that we silence some of this noise, because, I think the more successful you get, the more behind the scenes you get to see, because you start being in rooms with these people where, you might be on a mastermind with them, or, where they start opening up, and you go, it's just smoke and mirrors. You're not actually earning that money, and you might be earning that money, but it comes with a bagload of stress that you're not talking about. And I think there is this, there's this cloud over this, because obviously, if let's say they're a business coach and they're going, well, I'm making 7 million, you're going to go, well, obviously they're good at what they do. They're not going to tell you all the crap that goes on behind the scenes. So, like I say, I think silencing some of this noise and some of this BS, some of it is absolutely true. Some of these people are absolutely crushing life and making all this money. And like I say, good luck to it. It's brilliant. I'm all for it. But let's not, let that not be at the expense of you telling yourself that you're rubbish and you're not good enough, and all of the good stuff that you are achieving in your business. Let's not downplay that because you haven't had a £7 million month. If somebody downloads your lead magnet, if somebody, one person comes to your masterclass, if 10 people watch your video, 3 people come to your event, these are successes. But I think we've become a bit numb and a bit, our vision is skewed a little bit. Before, if you earn 80 grand, 70, 80 grand, you were considered to do well. But now that's not even a figure we should be happy with. We should, it's multiple 6 figures. And it's like, if that's what you're striving for, go for it. Absolutely go for it. And I'll help you get there. But if you only want to earn 30 grand or 50 grand or whatever you want to earn, that's okay. And we should celebrate it. We shouldn't somehow think that we are less than, or we're not good enough. And all this noise out there, Instagram and LinkedIn and all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, I think they're brilliant tools. It's how I've grown my business. But there is a lot of noise on there. And there is a lot of stuff on there that will give you wanky thoughts, and it will trigger your wanky thoughts. We've all got wounds with a small t, things that people said to us where we feel a bit less than, things that have happened to us that when we see this stuff gets triggered. I have a deep-rooted belief that I have to always keep managing this wanky thought that I am not as good as everybody else. Because, when I was at school, I got called out for not being as good as everybody at maths, and that just made me have this internal belief, this wanky thought that, well, no one else is getting extra maths homework, it's just me, it's just the loser in the corner. And sometimes all of this external noise can trigger those beliefs and those wanky thoughts and bring them to the surface and make us feel a certain way. So I just wanted to record a podcast on it because I do think sometimes, like, we know this stuff, don't we? Everything I talk about, we know logically, but we also know that we're not logical beings. We're human beings, and we are emotionally led and emotionally fueled. And most of the time we are just reacting, and things we do are habitual, our thinking, is just habit. We're not really thinking about stuff. We're just, what did we do last time? How did we react last time? So sometimes we just need that reminder, don't we, that, we're doing well. We're doing phenomenally well. Where you are in your business right now, give yourself a pat on the back. Celebrate. I was saying yesterday I celebrated with a packet of cheese and onion and a small glass of Pinot. So wherever you are in your business, I don't want you to compare to where I am or where your best mate is or some random stranger on the internet, some business coach who's crushing it. I couldn't care less. So let's not compare ourselves. Let's just go, am I happy with my life? If you're not, then Christ, let's change it. But, you can be happy as you are striving forward. We can enjoy the journey, shall we say, because Christ, life is short. And I think what we're all doing, and I'm as guilty as the next person, we're striving for the end. We're striving until we make it, and we're striving until we get the big house, and, we're striving until all this stuff happens. And it's not until you look back until you stop and go, Christ, these were the moments. These were the moments that made life so good. Not that you had a fancy pair of jeans or you had a 7-bedroom house none of this will matter. But these moments right now, the fact that you're proud of yourself that you did that video or you pitched for that podcast or you spoke on stage, those are the moments that you'd be proud of. The time with your kids, the time your holidays and all of that stuff. Because, life is very short and it can be taken away at a moment's notice. I don't want to go too morbid, but it is a fact of life, and I think we forget this and we don't enjoy the wins and the small moments. So there's my little reminder for the day. So I'm going to take my cat into the vets now. They think he's got arthritis. This just feels very expensive. So we'll see. He's going in for a scan today. Bless him, he's got to be put to sleep. He's very nervous. I picked him up this morning. Yesterday I took him to the vets. I'm going off on a right tangent here, and I was signing off. I took him to the vets yesterday, so he knows this morning when I picked him up and put him in the crate again, and it was like, oh my God. So as I picked him up, I just felt this warmth running down my leg. Bless him. He wet himself. So I have obviously changed my jeans, but God, cat piss, it stinks, doesn't it? So that's fun. That's fun. So yeah, I'm going to leave you with that thought. Cat wee. Have a good day, everyone.